think twice before grabbing that clean plate and heading back to the buffet line for a second round. What looks like an endless paradise of comfort food, sizzling meats, and cheap all-you-can-eat luxury is. Behind the steaming hot trays, sneeze guards, and polite servers lies an industrial food handling model engineered for maximum speed, massive volume, and razor-thin margins. The truth is, when you step into an all-you-can-eat establishment, you are entering a high-risk environment. Beneath the bright heat lamps and comforting aromas, some of the most popular buffet chains in America are systematically failing at the most basic rule of hospitality: keeping your food safe from explosive bacterial growth. What you are about to discover about these 6 legendary chains won't just ruin your appetite for the weekend, it might literally save you from a severe case of food poisoning or a long trip to the emergency room. Let us pull back the dynamic curtain on the hidden reality of buffet dining. Golden Corral promises an endless buffet of home-style favorites, carved meats, and a legendary chocolate wonder fountain, but what happens when the cameras are off and the lunch rush hits will change the way you look at her. The illusion of freshness is incredibly strong here, but the physical reality inside their kitchens tells a much darker story. In a series of shocking health department inspections across multiple states, inspectors uncovered stomach, but the real nightmare lives right out in the open on the buffet floor. Whistleblower employees have revealed that the legendary chocolate fountain is a massive vector for cross-contamination, with children regularly dipping their bare hands, pre-bitten food, and contaminated utensils directly into the circulating stream of warm chocolate. Furthermore, health officials have cited multiple locations for leaving high-risk items like seafood salad and prime rib sitting in the danger zone between 45 and 135 degrees for up to 4 hours at a time. Food safety experts warn that ground beef and sliced meats left under weak heat lamps become an immediate breeding ground for Clostridium perfringens. Customers have shared horrifying reviews detailing intense stomach cramps and violent nausea within hours of leaving the restaurant, proving that the endless buffet often comes with an endless recovery time. Now, let us move on to CiCi's Pizza, the ultimate destination for budget wholesale pizza, pasta, and salad bars. With prices kept shockingly low to attract massive families and sports teams, the operational shortcuts taken behind the counter are a ticking time bomb for your health. An independent undercover review of fast casual buffets revealed that CiCi's frequently ranks among the worst for active food rotation. Because the kitchen must continuously pump out cheap pies during peak hours, employee training is often rushed or entirely skipped. Former line cooks have admitted that older, dried-out pizzas are rarely thrown away. Instead, workers simply slide them to the back of the buffet line, brush the crust with garlic butter to make it look greasy and fresh, or chop up the leftover meats to throw into the pasta sauce for the next day. The salad bar is an even bigger gamble. Inspectors have repeatedly cited locations for failing to maintain proper ice depth beneath the salad trays. When the lettuce, cheese, and creamy ranch dressing sit in lukewarm air for hours, it creates the perfect setup for listeria. Employees revealed that to save on food costs, managers frequently instruct staff to dump fresh salad toppings directly on top of the old, wilting batches from the previous shift rather than cleaning the containers. You think you are grabbing a crisp, healthy side dish, but you are actually eating layers of dairy and vegetables that have been exposed to room temperature air for over 12 hours. Next, we turn our attention to the Pizza Hut buffet, a nostalgic favorite that still operates in various high traffic while customers flock to this lunchtime special for quick, unlimited slices, the safety standards behind the hot bar. Investigative reports show that because the buffet is treated as a secondary feature compared to their primary delivery business, the food stations are rarely monitored by dedicated safety staff. A single employee is often left to manage the cash register, answer phones, and refill the buffet trays. This extreme lack of supervision leads to catastrophic food safety lapses. Health department records show repeat citations for improper hot holding temperatures on the pasta and breadstick bars. When marinara sauce and meat toppings are left to sit in shallow metal pans without sufficient water in the heating wells below, the top layer quickly drops into the danger zone. Whistleblowers have confirmed that instead of discarding contaminated trays, staff are taught to simply stir the crusty top layer back into the warm bottom layer to hide the dryness. Tasters in blind evaluations described the buffet meats as rubbery, suspiciously sour, and tasting like they had been ground beef toppings and pepperoni slices left uncovered or exposed to a constant stream of dust, hair, If your lunch slice feels like leather, it's because it has spent the entire afternoon drying out under a dying bulb, accumulating bacteria every minute it sits there. You might think a classic brand like Shoney's, with its famous breakfast bar and wholesome family marketing, would have an ironclad grip on kitchen discipline. But what is happening on their prep counters will make you push your chair back. According to corporate insider reports and public health filings, Shoney's meat handling practices have raised serious red flags for years. Former employees reveal that frozen meat shipments are routinely left sitting on ambient loading docks for hours before being moved into freezers, initiating an early thaw cycle that accelerates spoilage. At the breakfast buffet, the violations become undeniably dangerous. Inspectors in several southern districts cited locations for serving scrambled eggs, sausage links, and bacon at temperatures well below the legal safety standard of 135 degrees. One state inspector noted seeing pans of breakfast sausage pooling in lukewarm grease, creating a perfect environment for salmonella to thrive. To make matters worse, kitchen staff admitted that instead of discarding expensive leftover breakfast meats, they chill them in unlabeled bags and chop them up to use as meat toppings for dinner entrees or soups later that evening. Reheating pre-cooked buffet meat multiple times invites dangerous bacterial spores to multiply, turning a cheap breakfast deal into a traumatic medical expense. Now, let us pull back the curtain on a massive international giant, the Ponderosa and Bonanza Steakhouse chain. Known for combining a classic steakhouse menu with an enormous all-you-can-eat grand buffet, this franchise appeals to major appetites, but their operational track record is a massive red flag. Former kitchen managers have disclosed that because the brand has faced severe financial strain over the last decade, individual locations are under extreme pressure to cut food waste to an absolute minimum. This corporate desperation translates directly to dangerous kitchen practices. Raw steaks and pre-chopped buffet meats are frequently stored together in overcrowded walk-in coolers where shelves are rusted and sanitation is practically non-existent. A notorious health inspection in the Midwest revealed raw beef blood actively dripping from an upper shelf directly onto uncovered dessert trays below. Cross-contamination on this scale can easily trigger massive E. coli outbreaks. Furthermore, because the buffet line features an extensive selection of hot proteins, the kitchen relies heavily on industrial-sized warming trays. Whistleblowers have revealed that during slow afternoon hours, the temperature on these trays is often turned down to save on utility costs, allowing chicken wings and meatballs to sit in a lukewarm state for hours. Our final stop takes us to a major regional favorite that positions itself as a premium experience, the Furr's Fresh buffet chain. With an extensive menu featuring carved hams and fried chicken, Furr's charges a higher price point to create an illusion of superior safety. But dig beneath the surface and you will find that their high-volume model suffers from the exact same deadly flaws. Former employees describe a chaotic kitchen culture where speed overrides food safety. During intense weekend rushes, the volume of customers is so high that staff cannot keep up with proper sanitation rules. Carved meats like roast beef and turkey are left sitting on open cutting boards for hours without any overhead heat sources, allowing internal temperatures to drop rapidly. Even more disturbing, health department logs show Furr's locations have been repeatedly cited for improper handwashing facilities and cross-contamination. Inspectors witnessed carvers using the same contaminated knives and aprons for hours without sanitizing them, transferring juices from raw prep areas straight to the cooked food handed to eager customers. When your premium carved beef arrives lukewarm and swimming in separated fat, your stomach is exposed to an invisible danger. When we look back at these buffet chains, an undeniable corporate pattern emerges. It is never about the logo on the front sign, it is about what happens in the dark corners of the kitchen when health inspectors leave. Unsafe holding temperatures, non-existent employee training, recycled meats, and unchecked cross-contamination are systemic industry symptoms driven by an obsession with cutting costs. So, how do you protect yourself the next time you walk into a buffet? First, utilize your senses. If the hot food isn't steaming, or if the meat looks grey and dried around the edges, do not put it on your plate. Walk away. Second, avoid high-risk zones entirely. Stay completely away from self-serve fountains and communal dessert stations, as these are the highest vectors for public cross-contamination. Third, observe staff behavior. Watch how often they clean serving utensils and rotate food pans. Finally, support local family-owned restaurants where food is cooked to order and safety is a personal priority. Shaving a few dollars off your bill is never worth the risk of a foodborne illness. Stay smart, and if the meat looks suspicious, trust your survival instincts, drop the plate, and walk out. Like and subscribe to help us keep the blinding spotlight on the food industry's darkest corporate secrets.